I feel like a gamer with this microphone for some reason. It's insane out here. Sunset in Zion National Park. I'm now faced with the question, what's next? Last week, Finn and I rediscovered one of our favorite places in the US so far, and this week, I thought we were going to leave the small town to keep heading east, but instead, of course, we got stuck waiting for a package in St. George. Another package that never ended up arriving. This is becoming a reoccurring theme. But at the end of the day, being stuck turned out to be one of the best things that could have happened, as we got to experience this, and a lot of this. Hi. A week later, and I'm still in the exact same spot as I was last time. I have spent a lot of today just going down these random dirt roads to try to figure out if the place that I've been staying at is the best place. And the general conclusion that I've come to is that it is, in fact, the best. But I think for the sake of switching it up a little bit, I'm gonna switch it up. That didn't make any sense, did it? On this evening, I decided to park on the side of a cliff. Did I know it was the side of a cliff? No, not at first. And when I realized it, I may have gotten slight vertigo, but it was all worth it to watch the last of the colors fade from the sky.
And do you see the river? Do you see the river? It's down there.
These sunsets here in Utah, they start with like bright orange on all the rocks, and then they just end in a total rainbow with every single color that you can imagine on one side of you. Like, it's insane out here. For the last week, I've started to feel a little bit like aimless. I have almost been traveling for 1.5 years in this van, and that's like simultaneously crazy, also insane. Also, what am I doing with my life? A little bit. When I was traveling in the beginning, it was almost like I expected to feel aimless, and believe me, I did. Especially when I didn't even have YouTube, like, whew. And then YouTube came into the picture, and certain things changed. And for a while, that like satiated me, just learning. So much to learn. I still have so much to learn. But now that I'm plateauing almost in a area that really took every single ounce of energy from me for the last year, I'm now realizing, I'm now faced with the question, what's next? This shot has a high probability of being awful, so I'm sorry if it is. To cut to the chase, over the last week I've made a decision that I think is going to impact me in a lot of ways, and I'm really hoping that it impacts me in like a positive way. And that is that I have decided that my new goal, the way that I'm going to travel, the way that I'm going to decide where to go next, is I'm going to try to see all 50 states. The reason that I feel it in my heart that I should do this is the fact that it scares the living crap out of me. Like, it scares me to even think about going to a place that I haven't been before. It scares me to think about going to the East Coast, going up into New England, going down to Florida, Texas, Louisiana, Georgia. Like, I cannot imagine myself doing that, let alone Alaska. There's a lot of like fear. And I used to be the girl that would say you should do what scares you. I guess I still am that girl, but I'm no longer the girl that lives by that. Like, I lately have been definitely living in fear of what happens if I let go of certain things, in fear of what happens if I decide to do certain things and I'm sick of it. I might be making an impossible goal for myself, because the reality is that the more that I travel, the more I realize I will never be able to see everything that I want to see. And it's frustrating. It's also beautiful, but I guess all I can do is like see what I can. Oh my gosh, look at the sky. It's like 8:30. I'm tomorrow going to start my mission to see all the national parks in Utah. I've decided that to see the state of Utah, I have to see all the national parks and a few of the national monuments because that's what the internet says. So that's what I'm gonna do. I did finish The Goldfinch last night. I got roasted by so many people because it took me like 3 months to finish that book. Anyways, I'm now starting Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights. I think I called it Red Lights yesterday. The next morning I woke up a girl on a mission, and as every good mission does, it started with a cup of coffee. I don't know why I wrote this voiceover the way that I did, but it sounds wonky. I'm gonna leave it in though. I don't tend to share my mornings in my videos, or at least my real mornings. They're my me time, a time where I get to wake up slowly, not think about videos or chores or whatever nutty adventure I have planned for the day. A time where all I have to do is enjoy my coffee with whatever view I happen to have slept at. This morning I did break character and film it because it just felt right. I mean, come on, look at that view. Today I have a few things that I have to do. Pressing matters, if you will. First of which being I need to finish my coffee. I'm also out of drinking water and cleaning water, so I have to go and fill up both. And the thing that I'm angry at myself for, I have to go and figure out how to reseal my roof. A few videos ago, I mentioned that I have not had any roof leaks. Ever since I've said that, I've got this funny feeling in my body, like I totally jinxed myself. I have also been up on my roof a couple times, so that's probably has something to do with why I'm feeling the urge to reseal certain things. Moral of the story, knock on wood. My to-do list seemed small at first. As I drove, I finished my coffee, a small win. As far as water goes, this area of the world doesn't seem to have very much free water, so I ended up driving to a local Albertsons, where I stood outside for 10 minutes as the machine took what felt like forever to fill up. In the end, it was rather painless, and I felt really good about being that much closer to being able to go into Zion. But this third task, it really threw me into a bit of a loop. My first stop was Home Depot, where I sat in the parking lot and called my dad to see if he remembered what we used on the roof the first time around.
Hello?
Hello.
Where you at?
I'm in Utah. What are the odds that you remember what we sealed the, And after a conversation with him, I walked into Home Depot pretty freaking confident for a girl who was walking into a hardware store looking for RV or marine sealant. In hindsight, it is not a surprise that I walked out empty-handed. At this point, I was 100% positive that this was something that I needed to take care of over the next week, like before the next rain. So I hopped onto Amazon, where I proceeded to find lap sealant, added it to my cart, found the closest Amazon locker before realizing that the soonest that it could arrive was 8 days away. Before anybody calls me dramatic, I had already been having a very difficult time getting packages delivered to me on the road. It was why I was in Mammoth for 3 weeks, waiting for a package that never ended up delivering. And while I was filming this video, I was waiting for the exact same package to deliver, and it said that it was delivered and it hadn't delivered. All this to say, this whole breakdown thing was not just because of the lap sealant, not because of Amazon. I was just having a little bit of beef with the system. Anywho, after a few minutes of wallowing, I finally decided to do some problem solving. Everything happens for a reason, right? Why would this happen? Hi, I'm wondering if you guys have lap sealant in stock?
Do.
You do?
Dicor, yes.
Yes, okay, cool. Thank you so much. And just like that, it all starts to make sense. That was a large win. I got a tiny broom that extends, and of course, lap sealant. After a long morning of chores, I ended up deciding to just drop everything I thought I had to do and instead drove straight to Zion National Park. I didn't find out until I'd been there for over a week, but the place I'd been staying was exactly a half hour to the park entrance, which turned out to be one of the sweetest surprises.
and the powers of indicators. Well, now you got eyes, and now you should see that I'm lonely. Anyway, I got eyes.
I'm outside of Zion. I just did a little bit of a river run for Finn because he can't really get out at the national park. Now I'm so excited. I don't think that I'm gonna be able to do very much exploring because Finn. So I'm gonna try to just find somewhere to watch the sunset from like my car or something. Anyways, sunset in Zion National Park. I'm so stoked to be here. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so happy.
Can I be with you? Let me take you far.
Hello. So here's the thing. I've spent the last year and a half practically going out of my way to avoid national parks. My excuse has been that I have a dog, and sure, that kind of tracks, but my experience in Zion this week made me realize that I have done goofed. Majorly. This first evening in the park, I chose to do a sort of off-the-cuff driving tour, so I drove about 20 minutes up a little pass as the sun started to set, and as I drove, the rocks were being painted with some of the brightest oranges I'd ever seen. After a bit of driving, we went through the Zion Mount Carmel Tunnel, which is a 1.1 mile long tunnel that was built in the late 1920s. I actually have driven through Zion before, and my memory of this portion of the drive was the reason I was so excited when I found out I'd been camping less than 25 miles away. Oh my gosh. You know what would be really fun? A train ride! That would be so cool. All I want to do is travel more. I want to travel, I want to see things that I've never seen, I want to experience things that I've never experienced, I want to go see caves, I want to go internationally, I want to go to the East Coast. Why? I don't know. That I really don't know. Alright, I'll give it to you, tunnel. You were very long. As I popped out the other side of the tunnel, I thought it would be really cool to catch the Evening Scenic Drive Shuttle, which is a free shuttle that takes tourists on a 45-minute scenic road that is closed to private vehicles. And since I knew I wasn't going to have time for hiking, and since the weather was just right to leave Finn for an hour, I decided to turn around and try to catch one of the last shuttles of the night. Unfortunately, I barely missed the last shuttle by like 20 minutes. But the good news is that I have this as my sunset view. Apparently Zion was Utah's first national park. The park encompasses some of the most scenic canyon country in the United States, featuring high plateaus, a maze of sandstone canyons, and waterfalls with colorful hanging gardens. More than 250 million years ago, the stunning geologic features of Zion were formed. Once the area was covered by a low body of water, eventually huge rivers carved their way through the landscape. Later, it was left one of the largest deserts on the earth. This desert's sand dunes became what are now the breathtaking 2,000-foot cliffs of Zion National Park. Damn. I might come back tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. Maybe if I come back tomorrow, I'll just like... It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end.
To work hard, that's the way I feel. I feel like this is the way I live. Who loves you pretty, baby? Who's gonna help you through? 'Cause she's got a dream, but no one's a call. And she chases stardom like it's just nothing at all. The harder she goes, the harder she falls. And I just wanna be there when she does.
So I'm somewhere with a bunch of other rigs, so that's good. I kind of feel at home immediately when there's like more than 5 people. However, there's nowhere level. Like it's super not level. The one level spot that I can see is like next to people, and I don't want to be super next to people. I don't want to be rude. So I think I'm just gonna park here and hope that I'm not in any road. I don't think I'm in any road. Go potty. Go on. Go potty. Hurry up. Go on. Thanks. I am exhausted. It is 7:30, 6:30, and I am considering going to sleep. I always tell myself that I want to do more, but then I do one thing and I'm like, how do people do this every day? This exhaustion is well worth it. Dishes. Dishes need to be done. Dishes. I did do a lot today, actually. I don't know why I'm reprimanding myself. In my head, I'm angry at myself for how little I've done. It's a lie. I'm lying to myself. I cannot believe that was there a time change? I don't have any service. Why does my head look so big today? It's always just in the corner of my eating shots. Are you okay? Arthritis starts with an earthquake. But there once was a boy named Fred, and Fred had a freckle on his head, and they called him Fredkle. Oh god. Favorite things. I should definitely have a ladder. We're gonna pretend that this isn't janky, okay? You're not looking at this. This is not janky. I don't know what you're talking about.